Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea on Marriage, where real couples talk about real marriages. I'm Kavan Allen, and this is my beautiful wife. Keisha, I thought you were going to say your name. I thought you were going to say your name. I was like, my beautiful wife. And you're just like, Keisha, but it's fine.
Yeah, and we're on a mission to make marriage great again.
So I want to thank you guys for joining us. And, today we are here with the amazing power couple, Damian and Patrine Cole. And listen, we are going to spill the tea on the woman every man wants to marry. Listen, I don't know how it's going to work, Damian. Because I have that already and every other man gets it. But they're going to share with us, and that's the title of Damian's new book, The Woman Every Man Wants to Marry. So we're excited about that.
Definitely hear a lot more about it.
Yes, so before we jump into that discussion, first a quick word from our sponsors.
Yes, so Spill the Tea is brought to you by House of Clay, Jamaican luxury fashion house. And it's right here in Jamaica. They are leaders in high-end wedding dresses and evening dresses. And everything is specially designed and crafted in Jamaica, in our atelier. And you can check us out at www.houseofclayjamaica.com. So if you know anybody getting married, need a wedding dress, House of Clay. And they're on social, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, House of Clay JA.
So definitely you deserve to be the most beautiful woman in the room. So House of Clay will make your dreams come true. So therefore, with all that said, before we go directly into our discussions with the Cole, we want to find out, guys, what is in your cup? What are you drinking?
Well, this is chocolate tea.
Yes.
I'm very boring right now, so I'm just drinking water.
That's not boring. I've done that so many times.
It's very hot.
I'm thirsty.
Yes, it's really hot.
Yes.
I don't even know what's in my cup, but it tastes good.
I'll tell you what's in the cup. It's ginger ale and cola champagne.
Two things I like.
Same for me. Ginger ale, cola champagne.
And as per usual, these cups were made by Essentials by Tal. You can follow them on Instagram, Essentials by Tal, and you can get all kind of excitement like this. All right. So guys, we're so happy to have you. You guys are a tremendous blessing. I have known both of you for many years. I consider Damian from long time family. We have grown up, deep-rooted family friends, and just to see how our lives are interlining and intersecting is just amazing. And so we are so happy to have you guys. And I mean, what inspired you? I kind of know, but I'll let you say. What inspired you to write a book about the woman every man wants to marry?
That's a good question. What I recognize, one of the things is that you recognize that a lot of books or articles have been written out there, but it's really coming from like a female perspective. Very few information out there from a male. So I thought it would be good to share, to give away our secrets, Kavan. To be the first man to do so, but not to share, what we're actually looking for in a woman. It's good to hear from a female, but it's also better to hear from the male. What are we really looking for in a woman, especially a wife? I thought it would only be fair to put that information out there.
So, Patrine, did you give any tips? Did you?
I did not give any tips. After he wrote it, I read it and I did the editing for him, but he wrote it. So it's
she
fully from a
inspired
male
it.
perspective. Yeah.
She inspired it because she's the woman every man wants to be.
Is the
She's
book
speaking from experience.
is the book 1 page and 1 word? Patrine, is that
Oh Lord.
do you I love what you said from a male's perspective, and we have a lot of women that watch our program. A lot of women not yet married as well. What do you think that they need to know? What are some of the important things that these women who want to be married, on the road to be married, need to know that men want?
Oh, and it's not just, let me just say, it's not just for women who are single. It's for women who are married as well.
Excellent
Right?
point.
So let me just put in that plug, because as a married woman, I glean a lot from the information that you put in the book. Right? That's it.
Yes, just to lay a little foundation is that it's important for women to understand the different stages that men go through. Okay,
Yeah.
and I know you have different women, and this when this book was written, it was written just for Christian women. It was written for all women. Okay, so I just put that out there. So that was intentional because I want women to understand that men go through different stages. One is the no commitment stage and the commitment stage. One where he's maybe just looking for a girlfriend, another stage where he's looking for a wife. Okay, very important. Maybe if you interview many married men today and ask them, did you have any girlfriends before your wife? They will say, sure, we had probably 2 or 3 girlfriends prior to their wife. Why is that? Because they went through the girlfriend phase. A woman, when she's meeting a man, she needs to know what phase he's at.
Wow. Yeah.
It is very critical. She needs to understand, what phase he's at. Let me read to you a quote from the book. Do me the honor, right here.
Oh, it says a man knows when to invest in a woman and jump in with 2 feet. A boy is always testing. He doesn't fully commit because he never knows if he's quite ready. But the truth is, because he is a boy, regardless of who he meets, he will never be ready due to the stage of life that he's in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, that is very, very, very loaded. First of all, I want to just thank everybody who is on. I see some Nicola saying hi, and Asim Sachin Singjin. I feel like I butchered that. I wanted to get it right, but anyways, they are drinking white wine. FedEx some is curfew. I can't come for any, but you can just try and ship it, smuggle it in over this side. But you guys ask questions, share your comments. We love to hear from you in the chat, so feel free to jump in. Now, Damian, you guys, I mean, you said it and Pat just read the insert. Men know when they are ready, and a woman can discern when a man is ready by their willingness to commit. That is what I gleaned from what you said, that a boy tests the water, but a man jumps with 2 feet in. What are you saying to a woman who is with somebody who is clearly testing, clearly not ready for full commitment? Oh God, I hope no man don't stone me. Don't want you to see the phone, think it is a criminal offense for you to have the password. Don't want to share their whereabouts. Do you say, or if you show up unannounced, what do you say to women who find themselves in predicaments like these? And what other predicaments you would say would be sign of a boy that is testing the waters?
I know by observation, you recognize that a guy would be in a relationship with a girl for umpteenth years. And then he meets the one and he just leaves her, and sometimes it's even come on a relationship. And when he meets one who will not, for lack of a better word, lower her standards then and say, for the relationship to work, she said, okay, this is the price you have to pay. He'll come up to that level. So women have to understand that I have counseled that are been in touch with women who were heartbroken because they were in relationship for umpteen years, and he just found somebody who had the qualities he was looking for. A matter of fact, there is a quotation that says that, and I said, let's get a little bit out there, let us get a little bit real now, that the truth is that a man, there's an old adage that said a man will not pay for the milk if he can get the cow for free. Is that right? Am I saying it right? Right. So Hollywood, I think a lot of, and one of the statistics that they're putting out there, that cheap sex is one of the reasons why also a lot of guys are no longer committing to marriage, because they can get the sex without paying the price.
Yeah.
You see? And the women who decide and listen to me, that you have to put the ring on this finger, they do it. But so it's along that line.
So recently, men, I think, are wired to raise standard to meet a challenge, or should I call it a challenge, or I can't find a better word. Give me a better word.
A girl that is out of his league.
No, I said this because I realized I've always flirted with jogging. I've done it sometime on and off, and in recent times I haven't been doing it at all, and I've wanted to go back to jogging, and I'm in a group with a couple men, and somebody just threw out, let's do a 50-mile challenge. And and they have a little thing to tease the person who come last, who come last and this and that, and who is in. And men that don't run for years, I'm in. Because there's a challenge to it. Including myself. And I think a lot of times women feel like I have to lower my standard to make it easy. But the truth is, there's something in us hardwired. That there's something about standards, there's something about challenging us, and we feel like we have to step up to the plate, and we have to, it's a masculine quality that I believe that's just how God made us. Yeah. And so I think this is something that women need to understand, that you're not doing yourself a favor by lowering your standards. You're actually making it more unappealing to a man, I believe. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I saw this statistic, and it was saying that it was asking women and men. So they went to the women and they said, how long do you think it will take a man to commit, to marriage and stuff? And then they went to the women and asked, and the women, their answer was like 2 years, or to know who he's going to marry. I think that's the question. And the women were like, about 2 years, it'll take about 2 years to know. And the majority of the men said they know right away.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No. Say that again. You have to start from top. You have to start from top with that.
Yeah, so they interviewed both sexes. So how long do you think it will take a man to know, if he's in this relationship for the long haul, if this is the one? And the women, as we normally think men don't know how to commit, the women said about 2 years, on average 2 years. Mm-hmm. And when they asked the men the same question, the men said they know right away. So you, as a woman, you have to decide if you want to be a girlfriend or if you want to be a wife, because he knows right away. He knows right away.
I knew right away.
Wow.
I mean, we dated. We started dating in March, and by December we were married. I mean, if I found the one, what am I waiting for? I mean, let's do it. We're in the church. Let's go.
You know, and it what we are taught though to be boys that test the waters. I think that's what culture teaches us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are taught to, in fact, we are taught to not even fully commit. I hear all kind of things. A man don't know what he wants till 35, till 40, you hear all these things. But you know what I'm getting from you, and the truth is, that's been my experience in dealing with people as well. That you really do, a man does know what he wants, and then he knows if he wants nothing as well. So you have to discern that. And I'm not ready for marriage. If a man tell you he don't want to get married, don't think you can change him. Don't think he needs.
Yeah.
Listen, it's just so I'm really happy that it started here, because I think it's something that women just have to know. Men don't beat us. Some men don't probably when see the book and just burn it up.
Did you watch the movie? Think Like a Man? Like they want
Yes. And I read the book too. I read the book as well.
Yeah.
In my part of my research, I read that book.
So Damon, you have to go get some security guard.
Yeah, I said, I mean, it's a scary thing to put all these things out there.
Yeah, it's important for us as women to know.
Yeah.
Because, it's wasted years. You're wasting years, you know?
I saw a program where they were interviewing a number of guys and a number of women, were asking them the question, what are you looking for? But they couldn't articulate it properly. When I heard the responses, they were superficial. So those kind of things that really encouraged me to put something out there that women can read, that they understand the psyche of the male. How we think.
And I think that's important.
And as you talk about the superficial, I think women are spending so much time, and don't get me wrong, men are visual creatures, that is true. But at the end of the day, you are spending so much time on the physical, and I think what seals the deal for a man have little to nothing to do with physical.
Yeah.
What makes a man commit? Yeah. And I don't know if you address that any at all, but if you can, what makes that man jump with 2 feet in?
All right. Okay, so there are a number of, but I like what you said, Kavan, because those intrinsic qualities, so the outward appearance, yes, that brings us to attract us to have a conversation. But when the conversation begins, that's where the assessment starts. So we'll know if this is the person that I can. Is this a wife or is this a girlfriend? Is this someone that I can bring home to mom? These are all things that are going through the mind of the male when he's thinking about a wife. But one of the qualities I may say that men look for, that attracts a man to a woman, it's a need that men have, is respect.
Yeah.
It is they say that men need respect more than even sex. It's very important that women understand that, because disrespect repels a man. It kills the relationship. I heard in the book I talk about Will Smith. Back in the days when he met Jada, and they were dating, and she was in a public space with their friends, and she said something derogatory to him with his friends. No, come on, we don't like to be disrespected in public. Private is one thing, but
I bet they say you at home with nobody. But if you stay with somebody around with, we don't care. We don't even care for somebody we don't like or somebody we don't know. Maybe a man we can't talk English. Yeah, disrespect in front.
Yeah.
So he hit her over the head with a newspaper, and they went aside and they spoke about it. And he was going to break up with her. And she started to cry, profusely. But she got a revelation that day that disrespect is dead to a man.
Yeah.
But if a man is communicating with a woman and she's respecting his opinion, respecting his wisdom, he's picking up on that, her body language is saying that she's being respectful. Those things are very attractive to a man.
Listen, I'll give you a true story. The number one thing that awed me about Keisha, number one, was that when I was around her, she treated me with such respect. And this, we were just friends. I've spoken about it before. Maybe I haven't talked about it in recent days, in recent time, but I was awed with just the level of respect she treated me with. And remember, I got married at 22. So I was in that transition stage of teenager to man. I was working. I was the youngest at my job. I was the youngest given responsibilities in a church setting. So I was still like, yeah, man, but yeah, boy. And here comes this lovely lady letting me feel so respected, so valued, my opinion mattered. And it awed me. And I wasn't seeing people who did that consistently. I would see people, especially as a preacher, who respect your gift.
Right.
But don't respect you. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Keisha and I are just friends. We are going on the road together. And she would give me the taxi fare that you paid. So she giving me hers, So that because we're together. Don't make the driver think say, oh, to the woman and they can't pay the I was like, but I was, it really, these little things, how she spoke to me, how, it awed me. So even when we were just friends and we weren't even thinking about relationship or man, I was like, she's so different and I feel like a man around her. I wanted to be around her because I felt like my opinion mattered. I felt like I was being seen as a man and not just a boy. And that was important to me, especially when a lot of our men grew up in single parent homes. And I tell you, mothers can make you into amazing boys. Oh God. Mothers can grow a boy into the most amazing boy, but it really takes a man to make it into a man. So it no matter how amazing your mother is, you are looking for that validation elsewhere. And my dad passed early. So that validation for me, somebody kind of saying, and not saying you are a man, but just treating that respect was big for me. And that's a big thing I think women need to know. I don't think some women know it. Again, women are taught to. There's a way to respect but still be firm. You set standards that you don't compromise, but you show respect.
Yeah. True.
And not what you say sometimes is how you say it. That is critical. The tone can come across disrespectful, which is dead to a relationship. But even I would like to say, let us take even for married couples. Let's even go there.
Yes.
Let us say that in a relationship, cover that two persons are married. I spoke about that in the other book before you say I do. Is that they're in a relationship and every time she has a problem, she says she's going to ask her dad. She's going to ask her dad, to solve her problem. You're right. So, okay, I don't take this, So those things, sometimes you're not conscious of it, but you have to be conscious that this is the person in your life, ask your opinion, and so those things can really validate a relationship as friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys dropping some nuggets. I really hope persons are grabbing on to these things. Because as I said, some of these things are so subconscious. We don't think about it. Let me ask, Patrine, clearly you're the type of woman every man would want to be married to, clearly. Because if the author who wrote the book is still married to you, still married, did you struggle to become that woman that you are? Did you have to put in extra work, extra effort? I don't know. Was it just that I was always like this? Is it that even after marriage, I had to change? What was that process for you to become that woman? I mean, they may not fully tell us who that woman is yet, but give us little things. But you read the book, the book. What did it take to become that woman?
Okay. So let me backtrack a little. So the most important thing in a marriage is communication, right? Yeah, communication. So you learn and you pick up on things based on your communication with your partner on areas that you are, not so strong in, and you try to work on it and vice versa. So it's not something that you just know how to do everything right away. As I told you, I read the book and I learned some things. I mean, I saw it in the marriage, but I learned it from like reading it that this was critical. One of the things that he spoke about is the fact that men need support. So when they have a vision, they don't want to have to go outside of the marriage to get somebody to support the vision. They want their wives to support them, right? And that is something that, because Damien dream very big. And he has a whole heap of ideas, right? So he would come and you'd be like, all right, Pat, I want to write this book. Fine, he writes the book. As a wife, I have learned, okay, he's writing the book. I have to show interest in what he's doing because this is very important to him. So you go and you read. You say, okay, they give him tips and stuff like that until I became the editor of the book. You understand? But the fact is, men need support. And I learned that along the way that, listen, this is a great need for him. And I have to try to fulfill that need as a wife because I want him to fulfill my needs as well. You understand? So I have to try to fulfill his needs. Yeah. So it's something that you learn along the way. And that's why reading is so important. Reading is so critical because you learn from other people. Other people have been there, done that. You read what they have said and you try to apply it to your marriage because successful marriage takes work. It takes work.
Yeah. When Kavan asked the question, I thought it was a very interesting question, and I was thinking about it on my side. We've had a really amazing marriage, and I just wanted to point out that even for me, he speaks about the respect that was there from when we were friends, but I still have to adjust because we grow, we've evolved. There are things that he might have liked back then and so I have to keep listening, as Patrine spoke about communication. And if his response to something that I say or do or how I say something is not is not pleasant, or it's obvious that he didn't like it, then I have to now make adjustments. And so I constantly take note of these things, and in my mind I am taking note and I make adjustments as time goes by. And sometimes it takes time for you to fully get to the point where you don't repeat certain things, but you keep making the adjustments.
Working on.
And yes, and it shows that you actually care and what they feel actually matters to you.
Mm-hmm. And that's why communication is so critical, because if I don't know what you want, I can't adjust. If I don't know what annoys you, you understand, I can't adjust. So communication is crucial. And he's a communicator, by the way. I mean,
we didn't know. We didn't.
He is not going to keep it in. He's gonna say, Pat. And once you hear that, Pat, you know that something is bothering him, which is something that I really like about him, because he doesn't just sweep it under the carpet until it becomes something big. We always try to deal with it as soon as it happens,
Yeah, a lot of people think that in order to have a happy marriage, it means you just smile about everything and go along with everything.
No.
We bump heads. There are things we disagree on, but it's just we're always talking. It's never going into a fist fight or hitting below the belt. We talk it out, and if we didn't, and if we just at a standstill and we cannot come to an agreement, it's not gonna change how we respond to each other, how we treat each other. We keep working it through until we find a solution, and I think that's a big misconception, and a lot of women have tried to become something else or tried to hide how they feel, and they're so frustrated, and one day somebody explode, and vice versa too, because if the man is not saying that when you speak in this tone, it really annoys me or upset me or it makes me feel disrespected. Then one day he's just going to clock out of the marriage and you don't know why, but he never said it not once. So she has no idea that he's feeling this way. So communication is very important.
You know, this thing here is good, but I have to go back. This communication, I have to go back because when Damien talk about support, no, he was part that brought up support. Sorry. When you said that word, it knocked me for six. I didn't even realize how important that was. Yeah. It is a big deal. And you know what I started to think about is that a lot of women married, and even not yet married, but you're dating, you're 14, whatever, you try to be a good person. So the wife cook, clean, you know, have sex. You know, you're a good, but you don't really care much about, you know, he's working, do your thing. Yeah. You tell that to your executive board, you speak with your brethren, but, you know, I just want to make sure you're bringing home your money, I keep the house, or, you know, whatever. I don't get involved in that interest, and support looks differently. Because there are just some things that the woman isn't able to do, but the fact that she wants to listen to you talk about. Right. The fact that she's trying to give opinion on something she know nothing about, but you know. Yeah. I remember when I was writing my book, Keisha gave me a lot of latitude and rope. I'll be very honest with you, especially at the time Keisha's mom was very ill, and I, you know, I wrote a lot of the book in Starbucks, right? So I was on the road more. I had so much things to do, but she gave me a lot of, she's like, no man, get it done, write it. When in the night, if I feel like staying up in the night, and she had to kind of double with the children a little more. Yeah. You know, and that meant a lot because she was doing it because she was supporting what I was trying to accomplish. Yeah. Stuff like that matters. And I think on both parts, you know, men have to support their wives' dream. When I talk about fabric, people are amazed. When I talk about, you know, when I talk about wedding dresses and all of that, people are like, when did this happen? Especially like people who knew me before marriage. Yeah. You know, but just that the woman understand these things are so important when a man feels like you have my back. Even if you don't know anything about the situation. Yes, I just love that point.
Let me just add to it. You know, in one of the books that I wrote, I gave an example. And I say one of the reasons for infidelity in marriage, not to pitch understand this. Oftentimes, a lot of guys, the infidelity comes when the guy has a vision, his dream, and you know, and the support is coming sometimes from his secretary. Right? So a lot of guys go off with their secretaries. Very important that you understand this. Because she's giving him the type of support, which is on time, and you know what he's looking for. Because his vision and him are almost intertwined. Yeah. They're almost one in the same. If he doesn't have a vision, his goal, what he's trying to achieve, is basically is what he uses to identify himself. So if his vision dies, it's as if he dies. So supporting his vision is supporting him. Yeah. They're almost one in the same. Mm-hmm. So sometimes what happens in a relationship is that he wants his wife to support him, but she's just not there. Yeah. She's not giving him such support morally, spiritually, anyway. But at work, he's getting support from his secretary. Mm-hmm. She's giving him all this sort of support that he's looking for, and then the attraction starts right here. Because a wife is supposed to give that support. Wow. Am I making sense?
Yeah, no, man, you're making enough.
Okay. I know it's a little bit heavy, but I want us to understand the psyche of a male. And why men sometimes are attracted. That's why persons, some men of God, they get very old secretaries.
No, it's
very,
true.
very old secretaries.
Help us too.
Yeah, and with the help us too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it attracts the male. So the wife has to understand, you know, even going to that, I have to go to give that support. Yeah. I don't know if you guys watch Meghan Markle. Okay?
Interview?
Her. Meghan.
As in general?
No, her in the genesis of her relationship with Prince Harry.
Mm-hmm.
that girl, I mean, it frightens me because I observed her and I said, okay, and I wrote about her also in the book. What made, this was her second marriage, okay? But look, Megan was willing to give up everything to support her husband's vision, Because remember that there were millions of women in UK, millions of women in Europe, in the Commonwealth nation. Yet when he met her, he knew that this was the one. Because she was willing to give up everything to support her man. And I said, oh my God, this girl is uncommon. She's rare. So she's the type of woman every man is searching to marry.
Wow.
But I think it's a matter that it's something that women, it's just that we're not aware. We're not aware of it, right? Of how important support is to men. I don't think that's something that is generally taught.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of people not being aware of it. But Damian, let me know, like, from the beginning. Yeah, because going back to when we started courting, for example.
Yeah.
As I tell you, he have some very big dreams and vision and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But he told me everything before we got married. He said, Pat, these are the things that I want to do. He told me everything that he wanted to do. And then he asked me, are you willing to take the journey with me? You understand?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when he tells me that, no, I can look into myself and say, okay, can I support somebody with that kind of vision?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can support it, or yes, I am willing to support somebody with that kind of vision.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's very important that women are taught these things,
Yeah.
To ask men, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? What's your goal? It's very important that you know these things, because you have to look within yourself and know if this is something that, you want to commit to.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. And I think we have to just be honest with ourselves, because I've seen a lot of people fall into the trap of trying to act like this is where you want to go, when in essence you're just saying the right things to get the man to put on the ring. But this is a lifetime commitment. So if these things you won't be able to live with, just walk away.
Just walk away.
Yeah, it's better to walk away than to enter into a marriage just for the title and for just the feeling that you think you'll get, and then everything just turns sideways. I just cannot imagine. And so it's important to just be honest with yourself first and just be upfront. And these things should be put on the table, because this is a lifelong commitment.
Lifelong commitment. Yeah.
And it's also, I recommend to women to always interview the men, in that early part of the relationship, to find out what is his vision, what is his dream. But what if his vision is to be in 5 years in Timbuktu? Are you willing to go to Timbuktu? Right? If he doesn't, at the genesis of the relationship, what happens oftentimes in a relationship, quite oftentimes doesn't work, is that he doesn't know where he's going, has no vision, no goal, no dream.
Mm-hmm.
Gets married to him, he gets the vision, the dream, 5 years in a relationship. So, honey, God called me to go to Africa. I'm like, okay. And that was that. I'm in Africa, where did that come from? So he just found this calling. No. If he's a man, you need to, these are some of the questions that she has to engage him with. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Even companies ask you that to see if we can have this partnership together. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And if he's able to articulate these things clearly, his vision, his dream, then you can see, am I a right match for him? Or it's going to be very, very, very frustrating 5-10 years in a relationship. You're called to ministry. Well, I don't think I can handle the ministry life. I'm a cut out for that. Next girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. And it's true. Like, it's funny. Like, for me, I told myself that I couldn't be a pastor's wife, and it wasn't like
No desire for it.
it
at
was.
all.
I never dreamt. I know people that wanted to be a pastor's wife.
Yes.
I
yes.
never dreamt of being that. But for two main reasons. One is that I don't like being in the spotlight. Right? Look at me now. But and all the stuff that comes with it. And the second one was it never made sense to me with what my goals were. And I remember one day I was just praying for people, and God said, and you say you couldn't be a pastor's wife. And I just started cringing because I knew what was coming next. And I'm like, no. But I think like when Kavan and I became friends and we started getting to know each other and stuff like that, I was still fighting the idea in my mind, but I knew that God, because one of the things that God said to me is that it's your heart for people. It's not about the hype or the all the stuff that people want to make it about. And so I had to accept it, but I knew it was that. And so I could commit to actually his calling and his purpose. Stuff like that. So
listen, thank you so much, hon. There are so many things being said in the chat. Thank you guys for your comments, for your love. Tiffany says, very good nuggets, guys. I think Nicola was talking to you, Patrina, and she says, sound like a good wife. I see Mr. supporter of the vision. Asim also said, if I love spill the tea one more time, love it one more time. Make sure you subscribe, like, click thumbs up. You know, like it. Well, I'm not sure what Natalie said. Her job, but thank you though. I understand that many.
I think it was when we were talking about the secretary and.
Okay. Okay, Mary. Okay, I agree. Oh, that's funny. All right. Yes. So guys, thank you so much for your comments. And if you have questions, we'd love to pose your questions to the calls, and we give it a shot as well. But they're the experts here tonight. I did step out for a second, so if you guys touch this already, you can let me know. But what is there a sentence, Damien? I know we touched on a few things already to describe that woman. Is there a synopsis of that woman?
Yes, it pretty much goes like this, that she has worked on herself and imbibed certain principles, values, and qualities in herself. So she does personal development. So she's constantly working on herself. Yeah, that is the secret to the woman every man wants to marry. She's constantly doing personal development.
Wow.
That's the secret.
And not personal development to get a husband. It's not to get a husband. This is for your own self. Just in case somebody here stand like, okay, so I need to, no. This is for your own self. You need to work on your own self.
Yeah, it makes you a more secure person and easier to live with because you're not trying to worship somebody else. Yeah.
So while you're in the weights, you work on yourself. Yeah.
I think it's the greatest secret, come on. Personal development.
Wow. Yeah. And where does one get that? Fun and joke aside, what can they do to develop?
When it starts by reading books like this.
I love it.
Read and make it a full man.
Yeah.
So read and learn all you can.
Yeah.
Remember, Jeff?
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, there are so many. We live in an age where there are so many resources available to us, and we're just not making Stop it.
Yeah.
Everything is at your fingertip right now.
That's
We're
it.
on YouTube now. Every question that you can ask, you can find answers for it on YouTube.
That's it.
You just have to take the time to dig, to learn, to read, to listen. Sometimes you just in conversation with somebody else and you learn something. Sometimes it's through mentorship, but there are many different avenues, but you have to be deliberate about it.
Intentional, yeah.
Intentional, yeah.
You should have, every person should have their hour of power. Set aside each day just to personal development.
Yeah.
To work on
Wow.
you.
Wow.
The hour of power. Work on you, that's very critical. And when you present the best you, I mean, the world is running. You just become so attractive.
Yeah, because I've learned something in marriage, and it is that you're not looking at the next person to change, but you have to look on yourself.
Yeah.
So work on you, because some of the things that you have a problem with right now is just because you're not. No, you haven't been developed in that area.
Agreed.
You understand?
Agreed.
So just learning that listen, I have to work on myself. I have to improve myself. And when both of you are doing that, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Marriage in heaven.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, Asim is, I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, is just making us feel amazing. So this needs to be promoted to the youths. So guys, follow this instruction and share this and tell somebody to jump on. There's a question here that I want, and people are loving the hour of power. People are saying hour of power, I love it. I like it. Hour of power.
Yeah, and personal
development as well. But Jamila asked a question. On the matter of supporting your husband, is there a point where you have to stop yourself as to not allow the man to become spoiled? I don't know if the men should answer.
I'm trying to figure out how is she thinking about support. That's good.
Causing to be
Causing
spoiled.
to be spoiled.
Like babying him, I'm not sure.
As in, like, do everything and not require anything of him.
What I think, maybe we can define what we think support is.
Oh, yeah,
And then answer it from our angle so that she's on the same page with her.
I think a lot of people find themselves in situations in marriage where they feel like there's a bit of selfishness on one side, and it's like an abuse of one person's selflessness. But I think if we look out for the right things and require certain things that might help. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead with defining what support and what a healthy marriage looks like and the balance on both sides.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, to be honest with you, in a marriage, you should be focused on the other person, and the other person should be focused on you.
Exactly.
She's supporting you, you are supporting her. So that's how it works. You're not trying to. That's why we should be trying to meet each other's needs. Okay, so it's very critical. And it relates to support, though. What the man is looking for is her having strengths in areas where he has weaknesses. To help him, because if he's a visionary, then maybe she may be strong administratively, and he needs that administrative support because he can see the bigger picture. And they say he gets a house, but she turns it into a home.
Yes.
She has that. She's wired to take his dream and bring it into reality. That's what he needs. So he will conceptualize the idea, but she can take that idea and bring it to fruition. That's her gift. That's what she does that so easily, naturally. So that's support from that perspective.
Right. So we're not just talking about cooking, cleaning. No, we're not talking about. No, we're not talking about. But even in that, both parties.
Oh, yes.
To be, because it's not like my grandma's days.
No.
My grandma's days, she was home and grandpa went out.
No.
That's not how it is nowadays, you know.
True.
Both parties work. So it's a mutual thing there, but it's support in terms of the goals or the visions or the dreams that the person has.
That's it.
You're trying to support them as best as you can.
Best as you can.
Sometimes supporting, as you said, Keish, is just doing, taking care of the kids a little longer because he needs that time to go away and write that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right?
even when you're tired, and
Even when
when
you're
you get tired.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So sometimes that is how support looks,
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that's important. That we understand that the support is to ensure that this person, I will flip it. A man seems to value a woman who supports my dream and vision. A woman likes it too, don't get me wrong. But a man kind of wants that person. It's interesting to me that a man seems to be a deal breaker to a man.
Yeah.
A woman seems, and then you can take the observation as well, that if the man is a good man, it don't necessarily have to be all up in my dream and my goals. Don't have to. I mean, that's a plus. I like it.
Yeah.
But for a man, it seems to be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
It seems to be something that is so important. A woman may feel like, I can get this done. Honey, I got this. You just do your thing. Me can work up my thing. But a man wants to tell you about it. A man wants to, if I'm the visionary and I'm saying something outlandish, I need you to say you can do it. I need you to say you have.
Or that we can find a way to get it done.
Yeah.
These are my observations. I'm sure I have not done a clinical study.
No, it's true. It's true.
That's what they say about vaccines and stuff these days.
It's true. Men,
So we are just sharing that insight with our people that men love this. So you have a little cheat sheet now. You can use this and say, oh, I'm going to win him out over because I just want to let him feel supported because for some reason.
But you have to be consistent. You have to know
and support with your words.
Type of support you're committing to for a lifetime.
Right. And support with your words as well.
Yeah.
Men love encouragement. They say you must speak to the king in him.
Yeah.
The man says every man has a fool
and a king
in him. You must make sure you speak to the king in him,
Yes, same not become the fool.
Yeah.
So you know who we are talking
to. No, and don't take it lightly with that because it cannot be that the wives or the girlfriend, she's speaking to to that the fool in him, and then outside somebody is speaking to the king in him.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very critical. So he will go to the person who is speaking to the king in him.
Yeah.
Who can see who he is. So men don't really like the political criticism.
It's true.
Am I right or wrong, come on?
100%. You see, we teach people that women are sensitive. I think it's how we handle it. We're sensitive, but we just don't.
I'm happy you said it.
Right? So I am telling you, we don't like criticism. Man, it doesn't mean that there isn't times when you have constructive criticism.
That's it.
But I'm saying
if that's what you do all the time,
it will drive a man up the wall.
Yeah.
That's why men drink so much.
It's true. It's true.
And just imagine that he's going outside and he's hearing that, oh, you're the cat's meow.
Mm-hmm.
You're the man. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah.
And then at home, he's hearing something contrary. You're such a fool. You're so stupid. Don't think about that.
Yeah.
Who is he going to be attracted to? So we have to be careful with, as Pat said, with our words.
Yeah, I remember listening to this very well-known gospel singer. So he was married for some time and he divorced and he's remarried now. So I was listening to his story because I like to listen to everybody because you can learn from everybody and everything.
Yes.
And he said his wife, this new wife, is his biggest fan and cheerleader. And he has never experienced that in his life. And I'm like, wow, he was married for many years before. And he said he had, and I mean, this person, when you look at this, you're like, oh my God, this person is so great. He's so good at what he does. But he said he has never experienced it before. So he was married for many years and he didn't experience that, you know? Just showing you how important it is to speak to the king in him, to encourage him, to support him, to say, yeah, you're the cat's meow, you know? You're doing that. Yeah, man.
But you know, you see what I believe, sorry, what I believe happens a lot is life is so demanding.
Yeah.
And it's easy to look at the things that we don't do. I'm telling you, it's not every husband, every wife, every courting person, I don't know, you know, you will find things that they don't do well because that's life. Life, trust me, not horribly a wife, horrible, not horribly a husband, horrible.
Yeah.
There are just some things that you always find they don't know. I tell you, I am not that domesticated. So when it comes to house things, it is our weakness. And I know somebody, I mean, they have a very good marriage, you know, but he's him clean, him wash, him cook, him do everything. So me, in my mind, this wife don't have a complaint, but you do find things that he's weak on.
Yeah.
So even though it's not my weakness, it is another. So you find these things.
Yeah.
The key is to focus
on
and
the
celebrating
80%.
the strength.
Focus on the 80%.
Focus on the 80%.
Yeah.
Focus on what you fell in love with.
What is the movie again?
80-20 rule.
80-20 rule. The 20% looks very good when you don't have it.
Yeah, I think the marriage one in the it's the one that they went on the marriage retreat thing.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
so
have a lot. We have
You're so right.
Say that again.
So right, you know, focus on the things that the person does very well.
Yes.
Because it's our natural tendency to be critics.
And sometimes we have to be intentional, you know, that and as they say, focus on those strengths and make a big deal about them.
Yeah.
And even with our kids, if they do something that is good, we make a big deal out of it. We want, you know, because we are innately critical. We love to correct and criticize each other, but very not very generous with our praise. You know, so sometimes we have to be very conscious and intentional that if I see the person does something good or I see a quality that is admirable, I make a big deal about it.
Yes.
I think it helps the relationship quite a bit.
Listen, this is so good. I mean, we have 2 questions here that I want to touch on.
And a very good comment as well.
Charmaine Brim says, these are great tips, guys. So I want to touch on some stuff that are in, but I just want to say, listen, I'm not talking from personal experience. The world tells us, complain, nag, and bend him into submission. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
When Keisha celebrates something that I don't like doing, I want to do it again. I don't like cooking. If she say, well, we make this, whatever, is the best way to get me. If I do something I don't like to do and she find fault, listen, I don't want to do it, but I want to stop right there. So it's taking everything out of me to do it. Just to hear your don't do it and make a complaint and don't. You know, but I'm telling you have to understand how men think. And listen, we're not beating down on women, we're just giving you insight. We want you to see inside this little thing here. It don't always make sense, but at least understand it. Because I feel like if you understand it, it will help you how you strategize, how you plan. These little tips, big tips really, are the difference between a happy marriage and a divorce. You know, it's the difference between a couple coming together and becoming multi-millionaires and people who achieve nothing. That your support of his vision, just your little good job, just your little I'm proud of you, can be the difference between being millions of dollars in debt and being multi-millionaires. I'm telling you. And so, and it works for the man too, with the woman. But you know, our focus is the woman tonight. So I just want to encourage our ladies. You are powerful. Your affirmations are powerful. Your affirmations can really make a fool into a king. I'm telling you, your affirmations are I don't even think you understand the power that you have as a woman.
Yeah.
And just as how your criticisms knock hard, men, if you hear men talk to men, we will diss each other, we will hit below the belt, we will with each other, and it does, we laugh. When you do it, it's like we can't recover. So you are a very powerful being in the life of your spouse, in the life of a man. And so understand it and use it to your advantage. I'm telling you, use it wisely and bring out that king. Everybody will be happy for it. I want to
before you go on, I was and another thing too is that I think we have to be interested in with talking about how men think. I think there has to be a genuine interest in wanting to understand how your man thinks and what makes him tick and what he doesn't like and what he really loves to hear from you. And if you say something and you realize that it kind of make him get sprucey, but you try to make a conscious effort to keep doing that, and it's paying attention to these little details and having a genuine interest that will help us to become like the best thing that has ever happened to a person. And I know it kind of sounds like we're focusing on just the woman doing this, that for a man, but I mean, everybody who has followed us on Spill the Tea know that our view on marriage is that when both parties actually are looking out for the best interest of each other, that is when it's going to work. And so, but I find women tend to have some tendencies that come naturally that are not necessarily good for men, and just how they think and how they and what makes them tick. So we have to be very interested and look out for the signs and the little things and listen to what they're saying. Don't just try to combat it, because a lot of times they tell you, they say it. Just listen and pay attention.
There's so much I can say on this, because you know, men don't want to feel like they're married to their mother in terms of our mother corrects and push you and criticize that. You know, you don't mind it fully from your mother, but you certainly don't want it from your wife. You know, so
it's just come on, just to quickly say, my brother, is that when a man is with a woman, what he's trying, when he walks away, he's thinking how he feels in our present, or how he, you know, when he walks away, how does he feel in our present, what he's thinking about. When he steps out, how did I feel, I should say, when I was in our present? It's very critical. When he meets her, because of the thing that she's saying, he wants to have another conversation with her. Because she's using her words to build him up, and not necessarily to tear him up. What she's saying is so electrifying that he said, wow, when I was in her presence, I felt good. I felt like the man, you know? I hope I'm not giving too many secrets. I hope I'm not giving too many secrets. But he must feel like, oh, I want to talk with her again. I want to talk with her again, because when I was in her presence, she made me feel so good. You know? I was down, but when I'm around her, she just makes me come alive.
Yeah.
Like that. So, but
no, it's so very true. Listen, I want to address these questions. Stephanie Troncoso, my good friend. This is okay, it's my friend. So if I butcher her name, she don't mind. You can tell me if this is true, but I do believe that as a supporter of a man's vision, that doesn't mean that your vision has gone to the back burner. Most times it will both intertwine beautifully.
100% agree.
100.
Yeah, and if once a man is getting the support, he automatically turns around and gives her the support.
Yeah, trust
Yeah.
me, if I don't want Damien to bother me about a goal that I have, I can't tell him. Once I let him know,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember you said you were going to do that, and I'm like, oh,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, so
You know,
once
it's-
it's a mutual thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and it's so funny. Keisha, we got up Monday,
Mhm.
and Keisha was so energized. I won't even tell us some of the things that we did to carve out the time for the meeting. I think we're bad parents. But and she was so energized, and she's like, I want to have a meeting about play. And she talked about doing a photo shoot. And I said to her, all right, when do you want to get it done?
Now.
I just said no. I said, no, baby. No, now help me. Tell me, because we can't do it now. Give me the time you want to say, I want to do it by Saturday. We had that photo shoot this morning. So and I was happy. Because you see an energized man, a man who knows that a woman supports him, it pushes him, man. I'm telling you, it does.
Yes.
So I was happy. I made most of the calls I do.
Yeah, he's good.
Listen, I make it happen. So
Yeah.
by the time, it was so funny. She called me mostly Thursday. Wednesday, I was on the road. And she called me, she said, this, that. And I said, you want to ask me to do anything that I do already? That's out. I have that person. I have a backup plan for that. So I was happy to support the vision.
Wow.
And that is how it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But you can't, both male and female, you can't be there saying, I want to see them do it first. I think that's something that we tend to do. You know, I think somebody have to lead. I prefer the man do it, but if him a little slow, I tell you, your support will push him to want to support
And you have to know the strengths that are in your relationship. Sometimes you are better at getting certain things done. And so, don't whine about it if that's not his strength. Just do it.
That's
and
a good point.
Help.
Sometimes we want the support in an area that the other person is weak.
Yeah.
I think you have to know who you are married to or who you are dating and just know. That's not them. You know, that's not them. When Keisha was ill and I had to cook, she know I'm making her rice. If one of that I buy the food because don't sit down and say, before me stick and me can't get steak.
And he makes a good macaroni rice.
I have a secret ingredient, so I won't share it. But if you ever happen to be in Alan's household, it is the thing to eat. All right? But I support as best as I can.
Yeah.
So if you don't value the mackerel and rice that I do, you might be complaining, and it's like, oh, that's all I can do. and I'm doing it to show you my love and support. So you have to really gauge your support realistically, and then you can look for it in areas that are the strength. So like
you'll see that they're trying to do other things to make up for the areas that they lack, and that should be appreciated, and you should, say, be grateful for that and say it. Yeah.
So it goes both hand in hand, and that's what really makes a marriage so special, because two are always better than one. And so the Bible said it is a practical thing, and so when you come together and you're supporting each other, it's the magic sauce of marriages. That's why, contrary to popular belief, married people are wealthier, live longer, happier than their single unmarried. Because sometimes the person that's single but they're not committed in a relationship to the degree of the married couple. When you are committed and support each other, man, you get wings to soar. And you accomplish much more. I never plan to rhyme, but I like it. I want you another one at you guys. How or where does a man who believes that he has found the woman he wants to marry find support or resources on how to move to the level of marriage and make that crossover? I mean, it's going to be a new uncharted territory for most. How does he move from I do to... So how he wrote it is, I do, lower caps to all caps, I do. So how am I move to I do to I do. So jump on that one.
All right, so he's interested in marriage, but he's not there as yet. Am I correct? Huh?
Sorry, the comments are crap me up. Go ahead and repeat them.
No, I'm not saying. Is it a situation where he wants to get married, but he's not there, right? As yet?
Well, it sounds like he wants, but he feels like, how can he get support and resources to feel like I am now equipped to go where I want to go with this relationship?
All right. Well, it's the same principle that for the woman is for the man in terms of doing personal development. You know, he has to work on himself spiritually, intellectually, financially, in all different areas, and it comes through knowledge. Knowledge is what makes you become the man. You know, it's what you know. So the difference between somebody who is successful and somebody who is not is what they know. It's what they know. So you have to go out there and get the knowledge, get the information, and work on yourself spiritually, intellectually, financially, and all the different alleys. So until you become that person where you're comfortable in your skin to say, yes, I'm ready for this now. You know, because you're preparing yourself. Your preparation is what, you know, makes you ready to take that next step, you know.
And
I don't know how many books you read.
Yes, I mean, I for years, books, read so many books, sit at the feet of so many men of God just to hear, but I didn't learn from their strengths mainly. I learned from what they did wrong.
Yeah.
I recognize I could learn more from their mistakes than their successes.
wow.
I spent years studying the mistakes they made, and said, okay, I'll try not to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very helpful.
It's something we pay attention to even in leadership. Every time we see something happen and doesn't go over well, we just make note. Well, okay, you know, that's that's an excellent point. Learn from people, not just from their strengths, but also mistakes.
No, and you know, Pat actually said it earlier. Read to the woman, and you echoed it again in the personal development. It's so easy in today's day and age to get information. And some things, what I would say to you is, whether the person is around you or you can access them through books, through videos, through vlogs, through whatever.
Zoom.
Some things you get by just focusing on it. So maybe, you know, I am getting so much ideas because now I am really just listening to a lot of people who are into business. I feel like I may run for prime minister one day because I'm listening to people who are into politics. You know, I am thinking things. My mind is expanding.
Yeah.
I trust me, I have so much idea. I normally feel like I have so much ideas and vision for so many things, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get everything done. Because you get the spirit of the person as well, not just the information. You get, you know, because that's how the mind works. And so, in today's day and age, you want information, you want resource. Oh God, man, YouTube, internet, you can find people are more accessible. You know, you can. There's this guy, this story. I love this story, and I'll just share it with you guys. I know this is more marriage, but I just want to share this story. There's this millionaire, really rich guy, has a big business overseas. And he said this young man emailed him for 6 months to a year, every week for 6 months to a year, asking him if he could come and work with him. He said after a while, him like, this guy looks serious. So he said, the guy said, you don't have to pay me. I just want to come and work with you. Okay. So said, this guy sounds serious, so him end up, after a long time of doing it, him just kind of, all right, let's meet him. Like the guy worked for him, moved states to work with this guy for free.
That's right.
He said, when this guy was just doing and doing and doing, they started a new leg of business, and he was an integral part of that. He said when that thing was off, he's integral. Girl, that's why I need a wife. And I still butcher it. So you just have to go say it loud. He was an important part of that. And when he was starting this new leg of the business, he said to the guy, this is what I need you to do. How much do you want to be paid?
Wow.
How much do you want to be paid? I have never heard that question in all my life. He said, you could tell them. He said, you are not going anywhere yet. How much you want me to pay you? And I think a lot of us are missing out on the wonders of being around people who have what we are looking for, reading their books, listening to their stuff, just as best as we can. And a lot of times, this is how I know God works. He puts something in your heart, he puts the person around to help you get there.
That's it.
So it is there. Sorry to just go on and think, because I'm passionate about stuff like this, and I believe we can find those mentors, we can find those people, we can go to the next level. So I just give you that encouragement, but it is very, very possible. So I throw that out there.
So Asim is going to get the book.
Yeah, and get the book.
Well, there's a before I say I do, right? Before you say I do as well.
Plug that book, because that book is would help him big time.
Yeah.
So before I say I do.
Before you say I do.
Yeah, before you say I do. Yeah, that's what is critical. A biblical perspective.
Yes.
And the woman every man wants to marry.
The woman
every man wants to marry.
And it's for both men and women, guys.
Oh yes,
not just women.
But before
we try to write them using.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying we try to write using principles, so it can work for anyone if you apply the principle.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Listen, again, Charmaine, big up yourself. Charmaine is saying, Keisha, you and I we should write a book or do this on a recording. These points need to be heard again, especially for those aspiring to be married. And she also said, when I talk about living long, married couples live longer than their single counterparts, she said, oh my goodness, me want to live long. Wanna pray for me? I like it. Okay, and listen, I get one vote now. So if I wait until all my children are 18, at least Charmaine says she voted for me to be prime minister, so at least have 6 votes. So that's good. That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. But before we close, I'm going to have you just share how they can get these books, all the different mediums to access the resources. But before we continue this discussion, I'm loving it. I feel like I can go all night because this is so good. We have a segment that we call Spill the Love, where you get to say one thing about your spouse that you absolutely love. All right? So I'm going to allow you guys to spill the love.
Well, for me personally, one of the qualities that I love about Pat, is her unconditional love. It's really amazing to be married to somebody who just loves you unconditionally. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I mean, you want to come home to that. I'm excited to be married and privileged to be married to such a wonderful queen.
Yeah.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, good night, because the roads are getting hot
For me, I talk about support going both ways. Damien, he always pushes me to be better and to do better. And I really love that about him. So when I have a vision or a goal that I want to accomplish, he gets behind it 100%. He's reminding me about it every minute. Like, Pat, you remember you said you were going to do that? Pat, you remember? Pat, did you call? So Pat, So that support that you get from your husband, just constant support, just making sure that, listen, what you were called to do, you need to do it. And I'm with you 100% because I want to be there and see you do it. That for me is just amazing, an amazing support to have. And I thank you for it.
You want to take a kiss?
Yay!
Listen, we've been doing this for over a year, and I
No,
haven't.
it has been over a year.
And I haven't repeated
I
it,
like-
not
you
once.
never repeat one
Mm-mm,
time.
Never.
I think I repeated
I'm
twice.
gonna repeat today. After a year of Spill the Tea, this is history. I've not yet thought of. I'm sure there's something that I haven't said yet, but it's not coming to mind. So I'm gonna repeat something. Keisha is my ride and live.
Yeah.
Keisha is willing to just go the long haul with me, journey with me, and we're gonna live forever. So it's not ride and die. Because we still get do us part and we're not part, so we're not dead. But
Come on, eternity is too short.
Right, eternity too short, man.
Eternity is too short.
I love that she is just willing to go with the punches. With marriage, people change. Not necessarily, not negatively, but just growth.
Yeah.
You go through different seasons. Things aren't always straightforward. Makisha is just so always willing and ready to go with the punches and just ride, man. I appreciate that. When the season good, when the season tough, when the season stressful, when the season light, when it's enough work, when it's no work, when it is more money than we anticipated, when it's way less money than we anticipated, she's consistent and she's there, and that is such a huge blessing to have. So that, I love that. That is worth repeat.
Amazing, amazing.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to share something that I guess is just very real to me. I've said this before about just what an amazing father he is to the girls. I am so happy that he has become such a great standard of what they should look for in a man. Without even trying hard. So like for example, like nowadays, every night he tells them stories. But instead of telling them stories from a book, he tells them stories from his life. So I just hear them in the room just giggling. So now they're not taking no for an answer every night. Daddy, we want the story. Okay, I still coming. Yay! And then they don't go to their bed because Kavan find the weirdest, wildest stories to tell the girls. I won't even tell you the story that Kavan told them recently. But I just love seeing how we interact with the girls, and he's an amazing father, and I can trust him with raising girls. That is a big deal. That's a big
Salute, sir. Salute.
Why?
Girl,
That's
that.
how I want to ushata. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
So listen, guys, thank you. We're also mushy now. I don't remember what we did there.
Any more questions?
Let me check if there are any more questions coming. I just bear I bear and hearts and everybody mushy we do it. So
Charmaine wants us to pray for us.
oh, she said pray for me that she have a husband, that my husband and I find each other. I want long life. I like it. But trust me, what do you think hinders Damien, a woman, from becoming that woman that every man wants to marry? What are some of the obstacles? Yeah.
One of the obstacles is socialization, how she was socialized. So if she was socialized to think that men, for example, all men are dogs, is a social space of women are socialized. So if a woman has that embedded in her subconscious mind, she would always unknowingly be pushing, repelling men, because in her mind, all men are dogs. So she has to, although her childhood might have been traumatic, or how she was socialized based on what she was told, if she can replace those kind of negative thoughts and see a man for who a man is or who he can become, then she will begin to attract that person in her life. So you have to reprogram your mind as to who a man is, and the law of attraction will do the rest.
It's true. I've seen a lot of people who have that mindset, and those are the people they attract.
Yeah.
And though they don't go out of their way to be with people like that because they're skeptical, a lot of them come under, a disguise, and then they turn out to be the worst type of people. And then when you check the mindset, the person was dwelling or on a thought or a pre thing that of men that they just tend to attract all the time, which is sad for me, because those people tend to be so vulnerable and you get hurt so many times. And then it's like, after going through all these relationships and all of them turned out to be the thing that you suspected, there's nothing you can tell that person after that. And there are very good men in the world. I mean, we can attest to that, but some people have never experienced that. And it's hard for them to see anything past that.
And I think another socialization too is you talk about men being dogs, but you talk about, I can't get married because I'm too old. And you get so daunted. You can want to get married now, but you are thinking I can't get married because I'm too old. In recent times, we had two clients. One had and one we still in the process. One that just got married like a month ago, so long ago, in her 40s. First marriage. Wow. First marriage. Yeah, very happily married, and she's telling you, she's happy God hit her. Yeah. She's happy that before it was like the long, most miserablest way. Now that it all is unveiled, I'm happy. And this, another client is in her 50s. First marriage. It is possible, guys. Not just think. There is a man that wants you for who you are. And is not necessarily looking for somebody younger, but looking for somebody that fulfills purpose, and that is you. And so I think these are some of the socializations really that stop you. Because, men want, yes, we want a woman who is humble, but we still want a woman who's confident. I know confidence is more for the woman than for the man, in terms of women love confident women, but men don't like unless they are controlling men.
Or narcissistic.
Yeah, only controlling. Normal men like when women have high esteem and are confident.
That's it.
And so don't block yourself from getting what. Yeah.
Come on, and let Patrina read an excerpt from right here.
Sure.
Right.
Oh, okay. From the book again. The greatest gift any woman can give herself is to develop her self-confidence. All the doors of success will open for her, including the door to a successful relationship when she develops that.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And it's so... Let me just say, guys, buy the book. Because it's very, very true. Yeah. There is a way to be confident, but yet not abrasive.
Yeah.
And humble. Yes. Confident and humble, but it's true. I see too many women not realizing you are trying to find a man. Listen, it's a man that is blessed when he find you.
Yes.
And he that finds a wife, I saw him obtain favor. Wow. He's the one being, not that you're not being blessed, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying and so you need to have that confidence, and you are developing yourself to know that you are a blessing, and you are confident in who you have become. Wow. So I love that too. Listen, I'm looking.
We've been
This is our timer. You know,
Okay.
are we going too long? This is our timer.
Okay.
We had to send back ours.
yeah, like oh
I know we had a long day, so we were, and I can imagine it a little hard on them because all day we were back to back.
Wow.
So
yeah.
I understand it. But
Wow.
guys, is there any other thought from the book that you would love to share? Think it's an important from any of the two books because both books are so relevant.
Also, what I have here, a woman who has a positive attitude about life. It's a very attractive quality. If you can read Helen Keller.
Yes, I agree with
Read about
that.
Helen Keller. All right. Let's read about Helen Keller.
So most people should know who Helen Keller was. She
Right.
was an American author, disability rights advocate, political activist, and lecturer. And she lost her sight and hearing
Right.
at about 19 months. But there's a guy who fell in love with her, really wanted to marry her.
Yes.
And this is what she said.
Right.
Oh, this is what they wrote about
Really.
her.
Yeah.
The men are attracted to positive women. So it was no wonder that Peter Fagan fell in love with her, which is Helen Keller.
Right.
Because of media interference and pushback from her family, he wasn't able to find a clear path to marry her. But the fact is, with all her disabilities, he was attracted to her because she was such a positive person, even though she was blind and deaf from she was 19 months.
19 months. Yeah. And there's a lot of Helen Keller quotes today that we quote. A lot of quotes by Helen Keller. She developed herself in an amazing way.
Yeah.
And he tried so many times to get to marry her. And they kept on blocking it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But she was the woman. She was the woman that everybody wanted to marry.
There are a lot of people who are disabled who are happily married.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people with great setbacks in life who are achieving great goals. There are so many millionaires who were dyslexic and still. There are a lot of.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We're talking about the guy in Australia without the arms and legs.
Yes, I'm thinking about him. No arms, no legs.
That's it.
Motivational speaker.
That's it.
He's motivating people with arms and legs.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
You think it should be the other way around.
Yes.
You have qualities of thinking. First by just
it's
anything you want to share as well before you close anything?
What is there? Let me see if there's anything critical that I think I wrote down something that I quote from a poet in Scotland. And he said, a woman can make an average man great and a great man average.
Wow.
Something that's
Say it again.
Say it again.
Yes.
A woman can make an average man great and a great man average. That just shows you the power that we have as women. Yeah.
Yeah, that deserve one of them.
I like that. I love it. I love it. So people asking, and we definitely we're going there anyway. But how can someone, they may write about many things. So I know they went to want to know about these books that are directly about marriage. but he has books about faith, about life, but how can they get in touch with him?
Well, for now, the Kindle version and the hard copy is on Amazon. You can always download the Kindle for a few dollars, a couple dollars. Very easy to get it on Amazon. So those of you have your smartphone, your tablets, your computer, you can always download the book. Use the Kindle version. Those of you, you can also bring it into the island through your courier service. In about 2 weeks, you have it in your hand. We are planning in the future to have them here locally, but for now, they are on Amazon. Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
How do they find just your work on social media to know other stuff that you do?
Videos,
all of that.
The key is to know, how my name is spelled. Yeah, the key is to know my name is spelled. You type, right? It's spelled a little bit differently.
Gonna put it in the chat.
Right. So if you can put my name in social media, send me a request, friend request, or you just go on Amazon, type my name, all the books, or YouTube, all the books will come up there. Right. So that's the best way to do it. And it should, my stuff should come up quite quickly. All right? Yeah.
BAMEYAN.
It does spell a little bit differently. So that's the easiest way to track on the resources on the different platforms.
Yeah.
Or social media platforms. Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know, but is there any venture that you're doing that you want to share, or
see that's what she talked about. You see him telling her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we are working on another book together.
Wow.
Together.
So we have Before You Say I Do, and we're working on After You Say I Do.
We love that, guys.
We'll
We
be
love
talking
that.
about the important lessons that we learned in love and marriage over the years that we have been married. Yeah. So stay tuned for that one.
That's it.
After You Say I Do.
I'm so excited about that.
Yes, I'm happy that you guys decided to just put the work in to help people build their marriage, and God bless you guys. Marriage is taking a beating.
Yes.
But it still works.
It still works.
People are still enjoying it.
Yes.
They are still. It's still one of the fastest way to economic freedom, the best way to grow children. Still very, very sorry.
Sorry.
We're being hijacked again. Marriage has so much pluses, man.
Yeah.
That no wonder God ordained it, right?
Yes.
And so I'm really happy that you guys could come and share just these tips, these principles. Thank you for investing in writing books to help people sharing the successes that you guys have.
Honeymoon finish already?
Go back to the hotel.
Never. We're still in awe of each other. We always maintain in marriage that awe that you have of the person. It doesn't have to be a honeymoon phase. When you keep that respect and how you see them, when it doesn't change, it makes a big difference. It determines how you react, how you respond, the things that you do or don't do. We still have that.
Trust me. And she just so even you have the about one thing, but you find a new thing and you start to wow. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for your comments. We want to encourage you to subscribe so you can always know, ring the bell so you always know when we're on. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this session. and share this with some. One of the reasons we went to YouTube is because it's much easier to share it with person, somebody that you feel that this could help, somebody you feel like this could really make a difference in their lives, a couple, a single person, whoever. Share it with them. We just want to ensure that people are being blessed by our content.
Yeah.
Thank you so
And
much.
the book is on the screen. Remember to, you can get it on Amazon, whether in Kindle or paperback. And go follow Damian and Patrine and look out for the available and just watch, follow them so that it comes out and we'll be bringing them back.
Definitely. I enjoy listen, couples just amaze me. Every time we have a new couple on, I'm having so much fun. You guys did extremely well. You guys are full of wisdom. Just keep up the good work.
Yeah, and people are saying great discussion, really good points tonight. Taking notes, just lots of love in the chat.
Wow.
So yes.
On behalf of Pat and I, thank you too for inviting us. We really appreciate it, and we had fun.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, man. You guys are amazing. So we bring it back. Probably bring it back with a couple other couples to just do some other stuff. But guys, grab the book. That's all. Get the books. Get the books. Give somebody the books. But get all the information that you need so that you can have a successful marriage. All right, guys, have a great night. It was such a pleasure being with you all. Thanks again to our guests, Damian and Patrine Cole, authors, pastors, motivational speakers, amazing people. Have a great night. God bless.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.